Okay, I'm gonna let my face mask sit for a little bit. I'm gonna smooth out my hair. Okay guys, the braid took 45 minutes. Here it is. We have to go run out now because we're running a little bit behind. We are locked and loaded. Okay, Tommy won his match.
Go Tom Tom!
Go Tommy. Heading to the Champagne area right now. Vlog. I just finished my hair and makeup for the match. I didn't actually vlog yesterday and I went to the spa and had literally the most relaxing day. I never really do that when I'm on the road for tennis. So yeah, that was really nice. I need to decide what I'm wearing today. I'm thinking this white little Chanel dress with this big white scrunchie with sneakers would be really, really cute. I find myself for tennis matches nowadays opting for comfort over anything. And if I do wear a heel, it's a kitten heel. Also, just have to say, I've been drinking this coffee from Everbloom every single morning since I've been here. And I'm not even exaggerating, it's the best coffee I've ever had. You guys are in Palm Springs, you need to go. Guys, the bag, I almost completely forgot about her. I would have been sick if I forgot about it, but here's the outfit. I feel very, very comfortable and cute. My dad and Tommy are bored golfing. Did we decide on hamburgers for dinner?
Huh?
Did we decide on hamburgers?
Yeah, hamburgers.
So yeah, so I guess thank you guys all for meeting. It's good to see everyone's faces. We have some really, really exciting stuff coming up from, I guess we just did Indian Wells, so Michigan, Woodland Camo photo shoot, finishing up things for the fish sweater. Marketing wise, I feel like we're in a really good place. And then Mariana is also flying to Connecticut to work with Maddie in the Connecticut office, which is really exciting. And yeah, that's like the next thing. And then Michigan at the end of the month, which we're really excited about. I feel like the majority of what we'll probably talk about in this meeting is Michigan related because it involves more of the broader team. But does anyone have any questions regarding the Woodland Camo photo shoot? Is everyone feeling pretty good about it? Any questions?
Yeah, I sent over the estimate to Party Please.
They have a meeting tomorrow.
Totally.
Is it just like marketing related? Anything on the design front, Mariana and Maddie? Mariana, do you mind touching base with Jack today about exactly what you need from him this week, just to make sure he is getting you the artwork that you need? Just looking at the stuff from last week.
Are we muted? Yeah.
I just like the idea of it also saying made in the US on it, but I've not done a Q&A in a very long time, and I thought that it would be a nice way for me to catch up with you guys. And for this Q&A, I did want it to be tennis specific. So I thought before I ran to his match tonight that I would answer some of your guys' questions. A very commonly asked question was, what is your favorite courtside look you've ever done? That is such a hard question, and I feel like it should be easy to answer. So for those of you who didn't know, there are 4 Grand Slams a year, and then there are a bunch of other tournaments throughout the year, but the Grand Slams are the fanciest, biggest, most important tournaments throughout the year. I definitely dress up and put more effort into my outfits around the Grand Slams. I want to say naturally Wimbledon is the most fun because of such a historic tournament. It's such a beautiful, beautiful tournament. It's fancier. It's like truly tennis core. Like, it's the tournament that you could lean in the most. So I would say I have the most fun with my Wimbledon looks, but in terms of my favorite looks, I'm definitely more of a comfort girl. Like, I feel the most confident when I'm a little bit more sporty and wearing a sneaker. So maybe my Miu Miu look from last year at this tournament, or one of my US Open looks, literally just like a vintage Nike top. There's something to me that is so cool about just like laid back and sporty, and that's most authentic to me. Someone asked, what is my favorite place that I've traveled to on the tennis tour? And my favorite place that I've traveled to on the tennis tour, probably Sweden. There is a 250 tournament in Sweden. It's a really small tournament. Not a lot of players go, but it afforded me the opportunity to go to Sweden. I've never been to Sweden. I'd been to Norway to ski when I was younger to train, but I'd never been to Sweden, and it was so lovely. It's also one of Tommy's favorite cities, so that was really cool. This is not tennis related, but someone asked, do you ever feel like people in the business world ever doubt you for being a woman? Definitely. I love the challenge. I love being doubted. I love walking into a room with confidence and impressing people in that way. And I also feel like I've been able to accomplish more because I'm a woman, because of so many things. And I feel like I've used the disadvantages of being a woman as my advantage. It's really all about understanding your powers as a woman and who you are and why that's special and what makes you different, and capitalizing on being an individual. I feel like in my 20s, I got really serious about who I am, who I want to be, and I worked really hard on myself, on my work, on my life. I set really big goals, and I feel like I've just like leaned into being a woman and being a woman in business, and I just like very fiercely chase my goals. And I feel like also, while we're on this topic, I feel like right now, in the time that we're in, there is no better time to be a female founder and a female entrepreneur than right now. I feel very empowered right now as a woman, and I hope that my videos or anything that I'm doing makes you guys feel the same way. Best tips for packing. I mean, I feel like I could make a whole video on packing, but the most important thing for me that I've learned is trying on your outfits before you pack them. Don't just pack random stuff hoping it works unless it's basics. Literally put on the outfit, even if you don't feel like it, because a lot of the times I do not feel like it. Put on the outfits, because in the beginning, I feel like I was packing outfits that I was thinking maybe I would wear, and then I put them on and I was like, wait, this doesn't even fit me, and I don't even like this outfit. Favorite city in Europe? Probably Rome. I'm like an Italian girl. I love, love, love Italy. I think there's no place like Italy, so probably Rome. Someone asked if I will talk about my wholesale business, and I would love to talk about my wholesale business, but it's kind of like evolving and changing right now, so I will let you guys know, because there's just a lot of changes right now with that. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to talking more about my wholesale business and how it's kind of shifting away from a wholesale business more into a business that can help entrepreneurs, specifically female entrepreneurs, start their dream brands and help them with getting their goods and all that. So more to come on that. Someone asked a great question. How do you manage to stay productive for your business and work when you travel so often? So this has been something that I've really had to learn how to do. Although I've always been very self-sufficient and organized, and that's why I wasn't nervous to be able to start traveling with Tommy. First, I just want to say that I was lucky enough to have a career before Tommy. So I already had a really great system around me before I started dating Tommy. So I already had an assistant, I already had some employees at Dairy Boy, and I already had a whole manager. So I really feel like my team around me was able to adapt and adjust and support me while I was on the road. But I definitely had to make a lot of adjustments because of the time changes. And I just had to make sure I was really on top of my shit and make sure I was getting stuff done even before I went on the road. Communication is key. I honestly just have like a really, really amazing group of women around me that support me, and they never see traveling as like a pain point. We always just like try to make the best of every situation. Like, what content can I get when I'm on the road? How can I continue to work and grow the brand and create content that inspires me and that just is fueling the businesses that I have? So I have an amazing team around me, and I wouldn't be able to achieve everything that I have in my career without building out a team around me. I was actually talking to my stylist, Marin, about this because she is a business owner. And I was saying that the best thing that you can do when you start to make money is invest in your team and the people around you, because what you can do with an amazing group of people around you is so much more impactful and greater when everyone comes together than when it's just yourself. So whether that's a business, a clothing brand, or whether that's, you know, like personal or whatever it is, I think the best thing that you can do when you scale is get a really, really solid team around you. How do you maintain your wellness and workout routine while traveling? Good one. Honestly, like, I don't all the time. It's not always, you know, this like crazy wellness. I'm honestly not like a big wellness girly in the way that you see Instagram wellness. I just, you know, take very good care of myself in terms of I take my skincare very seriously. I have a very regimented hair care routine. I bring the products that I love that really comfort me. I read. I, you know, am organized. If I'm organized and my skincare routine is done and my hair care routine is done, like, I feel like I took care of myself. I definitely make sure that I'm walking a lot when I'm traveling, and I love finding like my own little coffee shops in every city that I go to, because I've been on the tennis tour for like 3 years now. So like, that is my wellness, not like green juices and yoga. I don't really go to workout classes on the road. I'll just like go on a hike or a walk, or do core in my hotel room. But with that being said, I feel like this is a good reminder for you guys that wellness routines look different for everyone, and you're not failing at wellness or taking care of yourself if your wellness routine doesn't look like an influencer's routine. Most of that is like literal bullshit. Like, I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, most of it is bullshit. And people trying to fit into like a certain aesthetic. And while I love aesthetic on Instagram, I love that there are very few influencers that like actually do, you know, what they're showing that they do every day. That's not even hate to influencers. It's just like, I think it's good to talk about. You know, this is a highlight reel, and everyone's wellness routine looks different. What works for me is not always what's gonna work for you. Just make sure that you're listening to yourself and your own body. And I think a good rule of thumb on like wellness is just try to like make your bed in the morning and try to tidy up your room before you go to sleep and organize your makeup and take care of yourself and do things for yourself, take care of yourself. Like, that is a great, great place to start. The details of managing your travel schedule. So this is actually a little bit more complicated for me because I am a brand owner. So as a brand owner that drops a lot of stuff throughout the year, we have all of our shoots really booked out months in advance. So I'm already developing product for Christmas right now. So we really are trying to, at my company, book out these photo shoots so I can do it around my travels. So what we do is we put the tennis calendar into the schedule, and then we book everything around that. That is really how we do it internally. Also, an exciting update and something that's really cool. I recently hired a CBO at Dairy Boy that's also gonna be working across my Paige Lorenz brand. Funny to call it that, but like, I do have my own LLC for my personal brand that I do brand deals and anything like non-Dairy Boy related. But this person is going to be working across both brands, and honestly, like, most people at the Dairy Boy team have a really good understanding of like my calendar that's outside of Dairy Boy, just so we can all be synced up. But it's very important for me at this point in my life that everything is like talking to each other, and that there's just like full transparency on my schedule, so no one feels like they're chasing me down for answers on anything. And I'm texting and talking and joining calls all day to my team. How do you keep a balance with everything you have going on? I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, so I think that makes it a lot easier for me. And I think that, you know, I think because of that, I love what I do. I take what I do very seriously. I work very hard at what I do, and the balance feels like very natural. The busyness and all of that, it does feel very natural for me. So I balance it by taking care of myself, by taking care of the people around me and the relationships around me. And I have an amazing support system of people that really help me a lot. I have a very, very supportive boyfriend. And, you know, I do my best to balance it. And again, you have to set yourself up for success. You have to set up processes and things to support your life, depending on what it looks like. And I feel like I've done a really good job of that. But of course, you know, like I have bad days and I have, you know, stresses. I mean, literally every day there is a stress about something, and some weeks it's way more than others. It's very helpful to get through the bad days when you have a good foundation and a good support system. What's your typical day look like before and after Tommy's matches? So this really depends on if we're in an Airbnb or if we're in a hotel. I'll give you the Airbnb schedule and then I'll give you the hotel schedule. So for example, this morning, Tommy and I woke up and I asked him if he wanted breakfast. Most of the time he says yes. Sometimes he says no. Sometimes he's not hungry in the morning, but he always really wants the same thing. So I make him, if you guys haven't noticed by now, I make him a lot of breakfast burritos. I make him a breakfast burrito, and today he is playing later today. It's literally like 8 right now and he hasn't played yet. But if it's a night match, sometimes he'll hang out, he'll watch some tennis, he'll maybe do some yoga, and then I'll head to the site. He practices, warms up, he's at the site all day. I don't see him until after his match. He plays, he wins or he loses, and we come back here and we go to sleep. That's like the usual. If it's a late match, we'll usually eat on the grounds. If we get back for dinner, I'll make him dinner. And then if we are in a hotel, which is honestly like a majority of the tennis tour, we're really like living out of hotels. Tommy's so sweet. He actually asks me now everywhere we go if I want to stay in an Airbnb or not. And it totally depends on the city. Sometimes it is nice to have your bed made, and it is safer sometimes, obviously, to stay in a hotel. For example, he was like, do you want to stay in a hotel or an Airbnb in Rome? And we're figuring out what we're gonna do. But it's been really, really amazing staying in Airbnbs outside of the US because I feel like I've been able to go to markets, cook, and just like experience the culture in a very different way when we're not staying in a hotel. So, but anyways, if we're in a hotel, we wake up. If he has to wake up really early, sometimes I won't go with him. Honestly, I would say like I only go with him to breakfast like 20% of the time, but he will go to, or I'll sometimes go with him to the breakfast bar at the hotels. They always have like a big spread for the players. And then he comes back in the room, he hangs out for a little bit, he gets his bag, and he either goes to the match or he goes to practice. And then literally the same thing. We eat either off grounds, on the grounds, and then he goes to bed. Very repetitive. These guys are all creatures of habit. Their life looks the same a lot of the times, but I think they love that. I think that they like the routine of it all. If someone from the US were to go to one tennis tournament, which one would you recommend? Great, great question. I would say either Indian Wells or the US Open. I mean, both are just like truly electric. I would say the US Open is even more. But yeah, I would say maybe US Open, but Indian Wells is also one of my favorites. Depends on where you live. Someone asked, can you talk more about how you developed your personal style? So in your 20s, I feel like your personal style is like changing and developing in so many ways, which I think is so fun. Watching people's style develop in their 20s is like really cool. And I think if your personal style is on the right track, or if you're watching someone's personal style, when they just start to look more confident in like themselves, I think that means you're on the right path to your individual style. For me in particular, tennis definitely influenced my style in a way. Absolutely, 100%. I'm from Connecticut, so I would say that the more polished, preppy, leaning style is something that I grew up around. And I also rode horses when I was younger, and my mom played tennis. So when I started dating a tennis player and I started going to matches, I feel like it was a very natural progression for me. You know, you could be sporty, or you could lean into being more polished looking, or you could do both. And it all felt very natural for me. And I feel like tennis positively impacted my style so much. And now I feel like I would not describe my style as like true tennis core. Like I don't feel like that is my style at all. I mean, obviously Wimbledon, like we're leaning in more, but I don't feel like you look at my style and you're like, oh, like tennis. But I feel like my style has become more refined and more mature through tennis. And for that, I'm very, very grateful. And I definitely feel like I've found my own individual style. And so, I mean, just also so much has changed in the past 5 years of my life. And from where I'm living to what I'm doing to like, you know, professionally and personally, I'm like such a different person. I feel like tennis has allowed me to like, again, find my personal style. And I found myself trying to dress a little bit more, maybe polished and conservative and mature, and I was like, okay, this is what makes me feel really good. I think that's what it's about. I think not dressing for a specific aesthetic or person or like photo, but just like dressing in what makes you feel good and confident. And then when my style started evolving that way, I feel like my makeup, how much makeup I was wearing started evolving, the color of my hair. I feel like I just became more comfortable and confident. And I think that's also just part of growing up, guys. Like, it's okay to experiment. It's okay to like contradict yourself. It's okay to like say you hate one thing and then try it and then go back on it. Like, that's what your 20s are for. It's for growing up, evolving, and like contradicting yourself. So explore in your 20s and try a bunch of different things and hair colors and just see what makes you feel like the best version of yourself. Do you enjoy watching tennis? Know the strategy and get into the competitive aspect. I'm naturally a competitive person, but I know people that are very competitive and type A that the competitiveness almost just turns into like bitchiness and meanness and like this unproductive, all-consuming competitiveness that I don't resonate with at all. Like, I'm competitive, but I'm not competitive about my boyfriend, if that makes sense. Like, I'm personally competitive with myself, but I'm not competitive, and I don't feel competitive with any other females. And I also don't feel like competitive or concerned about that when it comes to Tommy. Also, I just think because Tommy's like that, like I think his attitude would also kind of affect me and my attitude when it came to tennis. But he is truly like rooting for everyone. Not a lot of tennis players are like this, like, and I can honestly say Tommy like is truly rooting for first like the Americans that are his friends, and like everyone. He's just happy for people that, you know, succeed in the sport because he knows how hard it is. He's one of those guys where he's like, yeah, if someone passes me, it's because they played better than me and because they won more than me. And he's a realist, and I am too. I'm honestly just so happy for him. As long as he's happy, I'm so proud of him, and I've seen him evolve and grow up as a person and as a player so much in the past few years that we've been dating. And he works so hard, and he's so driven and so passionate about his sport and so in love with his sport that there is like no room for anything else. I just like have so much love and admiration for him. I'm like tearing up. Yeah, does that answer your question? I don't have a toxic relationship with tennis. I would imagine if you became personally invested in your partner's results in a way that was totally out of your control, and if you became competitive about your boyfriend's results, or if you depended on his results for your happiness, you would become a very miserable person. And it would be really, really difficult. So that's not something that, you know, Tommy and I do, and that's not something that I'm interested in doing. So yeah. Someone asked if I get nervous during matches. Of course I do. Tennis is like a roller coaster of emotions. I mean, I'm definitely used to it now. Like, it's not like this, you know, all-consuming thing for me. I go to so many tennis matches, but yeah, of course I get nervous, and it's such an exciting sport. Like, I love the nerves and the ups and the downs. I think it's what makes tennis such a beautiful sport, and I truly, truly love tennis. What's the biggest dream you've ever achieved? So this is something that I actually really want to work on in the new year. I'm a very goal-oriented person, and I feel like I've reached so many of my goals and like gone beyond my goals, and sometimes I don't always take a moment to be like, wow. You know, instead of setting next goals, just being like, whoa, I'm here and this is like incredible. But owning my dream home that I bought for myself in my 20s definitely has been the biggest goal that I've achieved. But yeah, owning a house that's completely mine just like truly like makes me happy. Like, even when I wake up in the morning, like everything I feel like I've done is to be able to own like a beautiful home that makes me so happy. And like owning a home has like made me feel more grounded, because I'm like, you know, regardless of anything, any sort of thing I'm going through or hardship that I have, like I have this beautiful home to go to that makes me really happy. Do you have any new big goals for yourself? Yes, I do. I mean, I have so many big new goals. A lot of them are really business oriented now. I have a lot of really business oriented goals with just like growth at my companies, and regardless of like revenue growth, just like product and marketing and refining things and just like making my dream and this vision for Dairy Boy, this like all American brand, come true, because I feel like it's just like this world that feels so special to me and feels like just amazing. And I feel like I have such an opportunity, and that is one of my biggest goals. Will you be restocking the latest Masters sweatshirt? I missed it and it was my fave. So we got a crazy response to that sweatshirt in particular, and it's made me feel like I need to bring it back as a core item on our website. So that's being discussed internally. But if you didn't see on my Instagram, I talked about how I really want to take all the big tournaments and then like make sweatshirts around them and do drops around them to make you guys feel like you're included in the matches if you can't come to them, and just like they're so cute and fun. And I love creating products that I can drop around these tournaments. So follow Dairy Boy on Instagram to hear more about that. Who is your best friend? I have a few best friends and they're all childhood friends. So you guys know Amanda. Amanda is one of my youngest childhood friends. Sevi, who you guys see sometimes on here. But Sevi's a little bit more private, but he's been one of my best friends since I was little. Literally met him at camp when I was like 6. And then Olivia, who I grew up ski racing with, is one of my best friends. I have so many good friends. I would say like those 3 are like my core when I was younger, but I have so many like new, really close best friends that I love very dearly. Someone asked Connecticut or Florida. I'm definitely more of a Connecticut girl, but I love Florida now. Like I'm a Florida girl as well. Like I love Florida. Something Tommy and I talk about a lot is when we get married and have kids, like where are we going to do that? And we're figuring it out. For Tommy's career, he has to be in Florida, and for my career, I have an office now in Connecticut and my house in Connecticut, so we'll be bouncing back and forth. But I'm definitely gonna go with Connecticut if I had to pick one. How does Tommy feel with DB taking over the merch for his sport? Avi, happy, but for real. If you guys haven't noticed, Tommy could not be happier for me. He's truly my biggest fan. He's so excited. He's so excited about the opportunities that I get, and he's so supportive, and he loves it. He gives me a lot of ideas. Not tennis related. Someone asked if I got a nose job, and I've never gotten a nose job. That's thrown around a lot. I do not have a nose job, and you can definitely tell in some photos. From straight on, my nose looks like very small. And like it would be like a ski slope nose, but it's actually not. Yeah, I've never had a nose job. Someone asked, how have you felt the WAG culture shift since social media creates more opportunities? I mean, there has definitely been a shift, and I think it's amazing. I think I was talking about this with someone at the US Open this past year about just the evolution of the word WAG and WAGs in general. And I brought up Victoria Beckham as an example. She was a famous pop star at the time that she was dating David Beckham. But if she had social media, she would be given probably more opportunities than all of us. You know, like she would have probably utilized her platform to start a business, to take brand deals, to document her travels or whatever she was up to. So I think that it's just the new age of social media, and it's the new age of female founders and female creators and females starting businesses to empower them and allow them to work and share and create, whether it's fashion, food, culture, sport, or all of those things combined. I think it's amazing, and I think it's a natural progression of the internet, and I think it's incredible. I think it's incredible that so many women have been afforded jobs while supporting their partners, and yeah, I think it's amazing. But there has definitely been a shift. I've seen, I think, the biggest shift also just around like fashion and sport, and how brands and people are fascinated by in the in-between moments between the matches, the court side of it all. And I think that there is just like an aura around these events that we are lucky enough as girlfriends and wives to sort of be a part of it in an authentic way that I think is very interesting to an audience. So yeah, it's been very cool to be a part of that shift. Where do you get your outfit inspo from for the tour? Recently, I've been working with a stylist to help me pull from designers and get loans and help me source vintage. But I usually just go by the place, you know, like if I'm in the desert or if I'm in Rome or if I'm in the US Open, we lean into wherever I am and we just like send references back and forth, and my stylist pushes me sometimes. And I wouldn't say one person, I would say the place impacts us much more. Favorite players to watch besides Tommy? I would definitely say Coco or Danielle Collins. They're both women that I'm friends with and like adore and love, and they're both very fun players to watch. On the men's side, I would say Rublev is a fun one, always exciting. Carlos. I mean, I love tennis, so I love like really watching all of the matches. There's not like one player that I follow outside of Tommy a lot, but I honestly am watching tennis a lot when we're at tournaments. Do you ever get bored? I don't, because I have to work so much on the road. If anything, I wish it was like a little bit more boring. But someone asked, did you hang out with Kylie and Timothy? I didn't even know they were here. Tommy came home that night that they were at a match, and he was like, oh yeah, I saw Kylie in the players lounge. And I was like, good. So yeah, Tommy was unfazed. I did not see them, but really cool that they were at the match. How has it been becoming close with the other wives and girlfriends on the tour? I have such an amazing support system around me of just like supportive girls that I get so excited to see at these tournaments. I feel so lucky to have such an amazing group around me. We're all so busy and we're all like honestly living in different places, but I do feel like so supported. So yeah, that's all for the questions for tonight. Thank you guys so much for those questions. I cannot believe I'm not at Tommy's match yet. It's 8:30 and the match before him hasn't even ended yet. So I'm gonna get dressed and head to his match.